Today, it's going to be a little different, chat, in terms of content. Usually, I open up with either a tune review or a movie review, but I wanted to talk about this, chat. I want to talk about the recent controversy that's going on in the world of comics, which is something I do want to eventually do. I do want to have a comic book show in the future, me reviewing these, doing scene by scenes, that kind of thing. Or just talking about the impact, cultural impact of comics and certain stories that remain iconic to this day. I think that could be fun. Or bring to light things that are underrated, sure, maybe overrated. But one thing I wanted to start with today, Chris's Comic Book Corner, Comic Corner. I love that. CCC. It's a good name, Asylum. I like that. Thank you. I'm going to keep that in mind. Thank you so much. I wanted to talk about this. I want to talk about the what if story featuring Miles Morales as Thor, chat. It's making waves, and not the waves that you want to make when you're a comic book writer, when you're a company. I don't know. Maybe they do. I mean, Marvel, they're certainly getting a lot of attention right now. And it's like, yes, even though like the biggest movies of all time at this moment, a lot of them are comic book films, like not a lot of people like read comics nowadays. Like the industry's been in a weird place for quite some time. You know, just because comic book films are incredibly successful doesn't mean the comic book industry itself is successful, chat. It's always been in a weird place for decades. Even now, I mean, the quality of the writing is questionable, more than questionable, chat. You've had certain companies being absorbed into each other, things that were once separate are now kind of like all under one umbrella. It's kind of weird, and I want to get into more details about that someday. But I want to talk about this story. And, the reason why this particular comic is so controversial is because many people are upset, justifiably upset, in my honest opinion, of the very obvious and very racist stereotypes, very racist black stereotypes that are featured throughout the book. And, the reason why I didn't want to talk about this on DT Gameplay, or why we didn't bring up in the Sunday services, we actually know. I mean, Corey and Martin know the person better than I do, but they know the writer. The person is a toasty, matter of fact. And, I didn't want to talk about it on that platform. That is Corey's platform. I didn't want my opinion to look like the opinion of Double Toasted. So let me just say this. Any of my opinions are my own, and they're of my own content here on my Twitch channel. That's what this is. That's what it is. So I'm just letting you know right now. So I wanted to read the article first. This article is found everywhere. You can, this particular one is on Bleeding Cool, chat, but there are a number of articles on various websites you can read. And I'll just go ahead and I'll start talking about some of the panels that we have here, because I want to hear your opinions on them, chat. This is Miles Morales' Brooklyn Thor causing ructions. Never heard that word. On social media, chat. I call it a ruckus, but never ructions on social media. Interesting choice of word for the title. Miles Morales is an Afro-Latino character with his father an African-American and his mother a Puerto Rican. This reflected the ethnicity of the two adopted sons of the character's co-creator, Brian Bendis, as he gave his kids a Spider-Man to call their own. Miles Morales was introduced to Marvel Comics world as the new Ultimate Spider-Man before making his way over to the 616 main Marvel Universe community. His story is based in the multiverse, and he even got a couple of films from it. Recently, as well as appearing in his own continuing series, Miles Morales has had a series of what-if specials, with Miles Morales reinvented as a series of other superheroes, such as Wolverine, the Hulk, and Captain America, in their own respective realities. Last week, we got a What If Miles Morales Was Thor, written by Mexican and Jewish writer Yehudi Mercado. Hope I'm saying their name correctly. Yehudi Mercado, chat. With Miles Morales still a Brooklyn inhabitant, but also the God of Thunder, rather than going to Asgard, he has brought Asgard to him. The comic remakes the rest of the Asgardians as Miles Morales' own family. His mother and father are Odin and Frigga, while it is his uncle Aaron who is Loki in this reality. But for some, the mashup is rather clumsy, stereotyped, and laughable. Michael Wilson of Lake Forest Park, Washington, posted, the dude who wrote the Thor Miles comic is white, and he put Asgard in the ghettos. Along a photo of the comic's writer, though not his name, Yehudi Mercado. A reaction that has blown up on social media it says this is real. Some of this is not all. They got to go ahead and they got to get an editor for this fucking article, check, because some of this is not real. I'm going to read it how it's written. A reaction that has blown up in social media in the winter, with hundreds of people mocking the comic book in this light. Well, the dude who wrote this Thor Miles comic in question, Yehudi Mercado, countered in reply, you should get paid by @23andMe. I love how I'm not Mexican enough for Twitter. 23andMe is a personal genomics and biotechnology company best known for a saliva genetic testing service to reveal ancestry and genetic predispositions to health-related topics. But Yehudi wasn't finished. He also added, I should have added more upskirt shots, and then you would have loved it. Adding fuel to the fucking fire. I'm not, no, I mean, already I'm just like, oh boy. I'm not entirely sure that improved things, says the writer of this article. He also added, wait until people find out who created Miles Morales. It's going to blow their minds, with shots of Jewish-American writer Brian Bendis. Right now, the internet is divided between those who think Miles Morales Thor, Miles Thoralis, chat, that is the name he is given in the book, literally his name is Miles Thoralis, is laughable, and those who see him as the equivalent of Marvel writers on Luke Cage in the 70s and other racist stereotype versions of other heroes. Joshua Isaac's article for Screen Rant, Thor Miles Morales is Marvel's best new character in years, clashed with Liam McGuire's previous article for Screen Rant. The surprise new Thor has Marvel's worst catchphrase. While comic book creator Kevin Gravano posted on Facebook, straight out of Asgard, tomboy, really? Beta Ray Bill and Alien got a better hookup than Brother Miles, and a new hammer to boot. Blonde flat top fade, graffiti on the hammer speaking Asgardian Ebonics, wearing Air Valhalla Nikes. And he continued on. Does this topic really have to be difficult? I think they surely want diversity. They just don't want diversity from us. And of course, this writer is black, which of course for Marvel Comics is just everyone talking about their comic books, which is exactly what they wanted. So first of all, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. I would say, the way in which Yehudi engaged criticism, how he approached it at first, not the best way to handle that. Not the best way to handle that by being antagonistic at the top. That's not going to win you any friends or favors. But, I mean, first of all, I want to also kind of read you guys some of the panels. Because there's, this, I'm sure you can find the book online now. I don't think it's going to be hard to find a copy. But I want to read some of the things, because that's my first point, chat. Out of everything, I mean, what comes across immediately in reading this book is that, despite it being, yes, it is racist, there's no question about that, is how horribly this is written. I mean, it is. This is some of the... I mean, I've read some bad comic books. We've all read some bad writing, chat, over our lifetimes, but this is kind of exceptionally bad. This is surprisingly bad, chat. I'm just kind of shocked. I mean, you saying Hammer Time and By Odin's Fade, it's more than just that. There's some other stuff. Naya Brownie, Hard Hands, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I want to read you some of these panels, chat. Midgard long ago, oh, Yggdrasil spread. Then the World Tree grew in Brooklyn instead. Immerse as we traverse the universe. From the vast multiverse comes this dope verse. The stars shine upon the realm of the gods, forge mighty battles with his squad. Where's the lightning go after wars are won? What victories lie for the son of sons? He's got style and he's got flair to boot. With his kicks, he's in hot pursuit. Old enough to know that he don't know all. He wants to have a ball before the fall. All his dreams rain from the clouds above. He brings the thunder. Best believe it, bruv. I'm like, immediately, it's like, all right. Even before we get to the, oh my God, the really awful things. Already, this is pretty bad, but the writing. That's the thing here. I'm just like, no one looked over this. There's no editors going, wait, what is this, bruv? And first of all, I mean, I don't really hear bruv in ever. It's like jive talking, yeah. It's like I mean, it's like if you combined Shakespeare. I mean, I don't even want to use the word Shakespeare, but it's like, limericks, like English limericks with jive talk. It's very weird. And there's some other ones, chat. And some of these panels, oh my God. Of all the 5 realms, Asgard is his hood. For miles you can see he's just that good. The Rainbow Bridge takes him to his quest. The Bifrost line goes north, south, east, and in west. Not and west, in west. From Jormungandr to the Wrecking Crew, he's stuck Gullberstool in the Asgard Zoo. But he is low-key when he wants to be. Name on marquees like his Uncle Loki. Odinson, he's the son of gods and kings. Got so many wins, check out all those rings. He's formerly known as the prince for sure. His subjects and friends, they just call him Thor. No fucking rhyme there. Perhaps we treated Leprechaun too harshly. And then there's, numerous panels of him saying, stop, hammer time, like MC Hammer chat, hammer time. These are multiple panels of him fighting, I guess, Ice Giant Loki. Time to spin these hits. Now that was a banger. Right up to your face and diss you. And so on 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 and so on. There's a ton of this. There's a ton of this right now. I can go on. You can find more of these panels. These are some of the ones that I picked out. There's more. There's more. There's a lot more, chat. But, at the top, I would just say, first of all, this is just horribly written. Even before we get into the jive talking Thor and the multiple stereotypes, just the whole rhyming and everything, it just feels it just feels so immature, grossly immature. It reads like a parody. That's what it does. It reads like a parody to me, but it's like, this is supposed to be serious, which is crazy. Aside from that, which, it's the parts we can really get to and have a bigger conversation, I think this is bluntly racist. I think it promotes and showcases numerous racist stereotypes, chat, that certain people love to define as black culture or what things that black people do. Now we get to the question here. This is what's interesting. Like, is the writer being racist on purpose? I don't think he means to be racist on purpose. And this is what I think what's going on. I think the person here, Yehudi Mercado, has a very narrow view of black culture, I guess specifically black American culture in America, and has consumed very specific pop culture or content that was once popular and views that as the the defining cultural aspect of black Americans. So he's like watched things like, I assume, because I'm just going by how this reads, stuff like Soul Plane, MC Hammer, Undercover Brother, graffiti art, or certain clothes or styles that people often stereotype black people as having or wearing. And I feel like he views that, well, that's the thing that defines black Americans. Right? And it's just profound ignorance. It's just really profound ignorance. And that's what's so, just so kind of unbelievable, chat. And that's what I feel like is going on. The other side of it too is like, I just can't believe, the other thing is, it's this corporate way of trying to appeal to the youths, what have you, to minority communities, to LGBTQ people, of like, no, we're down with the cause and everything like that, and they don't realize that they're just promoting and engaging in stereotypes. Like, I don't know, I don't believe Yehudi is being nefarious with his racism. Is what he's doing racist? Yes, absolutely. There's no question about that. I don't think it's malicious. I don't think he intended it to be malicious. That's the thing. But at the same time, this book should not have gone to print. The editor should have looked at this and go like, "Oh my God, what is this?" It's profoundly ignorant, super ignorant. Like I would want to talk to him and say, did you talk to, like, I hate to say this because it sounds weird. Did you talk to, like, a black person or something? Do you have, like, other black writers you could have referred to? Or is there anyone at Marvel that is black that you could talk to and be like, hey, is this okay? Like, just something like that. And I just feel like there's nothing like that in place. So for myself, I mean, yeah, this probably, like, I'm trying to think, is there anything that's been more, I mean, look, when you go back in the day, chat, reading, like, Fu Manchu and shit, like, I feel like this is probably, like, the most racist comic book I've ever read, you know, and probably the most racist comic book in quite some time, since, like, the days of Marvel, like, Luke Cage, like those, you know, 70s Luke Cages, or, like, when like fucking Green Lantern Hal Jordan referred to his Asian sidekick as Pie Face, or, you know, when you had like Fu Manchu, like that, because I'm trying to think of has there anything been like this in the past 20 or 30 years? I think that's the thing. It's probably the most racist comic book in modern times. So, like, I just don't know. And again, I have not been reading comics consistently for the past decade, so there might be something out there that's even more like, I'm not sure. But for myself, I feel like, yeah, this is probably the most. Batman. I've heard about that, but it's not supposed to be Batman. Like, I know originally, Frank Miller wanted to be Batman. They said no. I could be wrong though. Let me know. Was that, or maybe that was a different thing? I could be thinking of something else. Never mind. I'm out of the comic book game. I've never read Batman: Holy Terror. I don't know if that was Frank Miller or someone else. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. But yeah, for this one, it's like, I don't think he meant to be malicious, but it's still really ignorant. It's still really stupid, and still really racist. That's kind of where it falls down at this point right now. I mean, where it falls down to right now, where the chips lie. Now I wanna hear laughs at sassy black receptions. Yeah, gives magical Negro advice and dies first. No. No. But I want to hear your opinion, Shaq, because I saw you guys posting. But what about you guys? What are your thoughts on this right now? How do you feel about this? You know, if speak your minds freely. Let's see what we got here. Jaber Holy Terror was supposed to be Batman, but DC rejected it. Okay, so that's what it was. So he changed it. Okay, I thought so. That's what it was. Okay, yeah. I knew it was supposed to be Batman, but it ended up not being Batman. Okay. Let's see here. 16-bit, I can't even give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't know. BSG, not at all. I just know this motherfucker wanted to call the story The Fresh Prince of Asgard, but somebody probably stopped him. That's a step too far. They should have called it What If Dolomite Was Thor. Yeah, I've heard a lot of Dolomite in this too. Yeah. A lot of Rudy Ray Moore. I think the writers should apologize at the very least. Wouldn't say the comic is racist as much as extremely racially insensitive. There were so many other parts they could have gone with this, and they went with the... Yeah, that's the thing. Because that's another part of it too. Like, because I think someone suggested earlier, like, why can't Miles just be in Asgard then? Why didn't you just take him and his other characters to Asgard instead? Like that, yeah, I'm sure. But there's also like this contingent of people online who are like black writers and black creators who are like, stop putting him in these positions where he's a different person or a different character. Just write him as he is. You know, I've also been hearing that too. But you're right in that regard. Like there was just infinitely better ways to handle this. I didn't even know what's going on. I just got here. Hi, Naya. I don't know how comics work, but you think this goes through a team approval? It's supposed to. It's supposed to. Okay, I thought so. It's the Holy Terror because everyone was calling it like Batman Holy Terror. I was like, I don't think Batman was in it. So there we go. But it was supposed to be Batman. Well, I've seen, yeah, it's pretty questionable. I might read the whole issue tonight, says the Asylum. Marvel should have not released 100%. This is really bad. It was like he was trying to do a human tornado style of rhyming and failed horribly. Yes. Oh, the rhyming's awful. I mean, the writing, aside from the racism, is just bad. It's just really, really bad. Some of the thing that where you read and go, what in God's name was he thinking? Why the fuck didn't anyone stop him? I feel like we're living in a bizarre alternate universe. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Unless he lived in the Netherlands, don't know how you think this is okay. Maybe Gates, yo, what's up, guys? Sorry, I'm late. Oh, no, no problem, mate. We're just having a conversation. The rhyme was cool. This was it though? They knew what they were doing and meant to print it. This is Lisa. I'm confused that this came from a Toasty. As a fan, I would think there'd be more awareness. Why can't Miles just be worthy like Jane? Yeah, that's what a lot of people were also saying that could have been done that way. But again, people have had takes on what Miles should be and needs to be, and so we were saying this hurt even more because of how Miles was portrayed in Spider-Verse and the PlayStation. Oh, sure. Crazy thing is, he could have literally avoided all this if he watched Shakespeare in the Park plays. And when I go back into the Spider-Verse with Miles is a lovable person. Like how T'Challa became a Star-Lord in What If. That's true. He's in a different environment. He's not suddenly talking differently. He's still the T'Challa we're used to. Yes. He's just like now. It's like what? Yeah. What if T'Challa was raised by the Guardians? He's actually a better Star-Lord than regular Star-Lord. Funny enough. Yeah, so we're getting more Sonic fanfic now? Yeah. Summary, hi, Sarah, baby. Really would have preferred Miles have just been worthy instead of us. Yeah, that would have been good. That's a good fucking way to pitch it, Dad Chicken Wing. He wouldn't have been the first to be worthy without being from Asgard. Deadpool mixing Brooklyn with Asgard would be a cool idea, but they just made it the hood. Brooklyn is such a culturally interesting place, such a waste. There might as well have been a black side character in a Michael Bay movie. Yeah, I mean, that's how it's written. Come on, guys, comic is funky, fly, fresh. Because that's how we all talk, apparently. I understand where the writer is coming from. Like, is Asgard actually in Brooklyn in this book, or is it? It's Brooklyn. Like, Asgard is Brooklyn. It's like if you combine Asgard and Brooklyn, it's set in Brooklyn. The juice flows, Ace Rock. Good to see you. This was probably insensitive, but I haven't read it. I can't confirm further. Also, Greens. Good to see you, Blacks. No, happy to have you. Happy to have you. No, I'm glad to hear you guys' perspective on this. Probably if I missed some comments earlier, I just want to kind of get my thoughts out on it. But why? But why indeed, Rocketberry? But why indeed? It is, racist, racially insensitive. It's definitely racially insensitive. I feel like this person, I don't want to speak for them. But I just feel like they just have this really truncated view of what black people are, especially like American black culture is. And so like they literally are like, well, it's like they look at certain films or music. Because that's what I'm looking like, all the references, shit, like all the references that we see that they're talking about or that they're showcasing in the book. Like you have sneaker, you have the Tide sneakers on the phone lines chat, like multiple in a row. And it's like, that means something. And they have that as like decoration in the book. And it's like, stuff like that. It's like, it's just there for aesthetic purposes. It's like they looked at they looked at certain movies and certain pieces of music. And that's what defines everything in this world. And that is that super narrow, truncated view. Like, I have no doubt that person probably loves that shit. But those things don't define an entire people. That's not what defines black people. Which is, I think that needs to get across to this person. And they just seem to be so woefully ignorant of that. Now they're learning. I feel like, Yehudi has handled this in the worst way possible, where he was initially really, caustic and was fighting back. And now that's just, I'm interested to see what happens now. Like, they did double down and they said certain things. So I'm like, you shouldn't have said that, because now it looks worse. I've heard that he does not feel that way anymore for obvious reasons. But, yeah, I don't know. And that's the other side of this thing. It's like, what happens after this? Like, what's Marvel's reaction going to be? Because right now Marvel says they're standing behind the book. Like, I'm really curious what's going to happen after this situation plays out. Is that the kind of thing where you just let it blow over and don't say anything, or should you try to apologize? Maybe able to give him the benefit of the doubt and call it ignorance, but he lost so sympathy for me when he was being hostile on Twitter. Yeah, that's not a good step. Why is that? They only seem to try to tie in black surgeons into things and ignore every other ethnicity culture. Like, even looking back at G.I. Joe, everyone else talk fine. Roadblock had Toronto. Yeah, for whatever reason. That's because, and that's the other thing of it too, Chad, because I want to bring up, because people have been saying a lot of things on social media and other content creators and, people who work in in literature and the comic book industry, a lot of black writers and black creators, they've been saying, like, this is why you should have black writers writing these black characters. And I feel like, this is going to be used as an example for forever. That's what they're going to do. And what people are going to do now is, like, they're going to hold this up and say, this is why. I'm like, I've always, my point of view on it is, it's been this. I feel like you could have people of different races and ethnicities write characters of different races and ethnicities, but they need to have some knowledge of, well, one, obviously the character chat, but also the character in the community that they exist in. I feel like that's very important, or that they should at the very least consult with people who are a part of those specific communities to know if they're representing them in the right and correct way. I feel like that should at least be a step. Whether or not we can go back and forth and have a conversation whether it only should be black writers writing black characters, or only white writers writing white characters, or Asian writers writing only Asian characters. Like, we can. I mean, that that I think that's up for debate. But at the very least, you need to consult. If you are not of the character's ethnicity or race, you need to consult with people who know about those specific communities and those backgrounds. I think that is the very least one of the most important things to do as a writer or a creator, in my opinion. Curious how the first 3 black writers managed to just make one neat one-shot stories about Miles, and the guy comes along like, greeting fellow black people. Yep. He had no place. He didn't. Be aggressive in the situation. News I won't be surprised if someone made Black Panther a white man. They might do that. I have a horrible feeling this comic only exists so they could do the Hammer timeline. That sounds about right. He watched 90s black films and picked up everything that assumed we like. That's what I feel like a lot of this is, Dil Murray. I think you're right. They might cancel the run. I don't know if they're going to cancel the run. They're going to keep putting it out. Now more than ever people are interested in it. How they're going to, after they sell everything, then they'll release a statement. I wish the way he handled it, he needs to learn how to take credit. Yeah, that is obvious. That is obvious. Shame, Marvel, shame, says Ollie Strange. Aren't they releasing heroes named Still Thinking? Said, oh yeah, I know. That was a whole other thing. We talked about that off mic. That was going to be a thing, but I think that's done. I can't imagine sales will be high after this. See, I think they will be. I think people are going to be wanting this book because it's infamous now. It's like so fucking infamous. Is it a clumsy attempt? It's not satire. I can tell you right now. It's not satire. It's not. What Marvel comic had? Oh, racism. Well, I have a comic book for you, Orion. It has all the exaggerated swagger of your corny history teacher trying to rap for the black kids in the class. I'll say behind this only makes it worse. Yeah. Pull Uncle Remus and never speak of it again. Yes, knowledge and respect. That's what I figure. I remember one time a writer faked being Japanese. Oh, yes, I remember this. Japanese, so Marvel could say they had multiculturalism and all the books were filled with anime fan talk. I remember that. Knowledge, empathy, yeah. I don't. Other people can write black characters, but it's about respect. That's what I figured. That's how I looked at it. Like the writer said, Miles Morales was great by Michael Bendis. I feel like that, but you need to have the knowledge to write these characters. You need to consult with people so you know that you're representing them the right way. You need to educate. You need to educate yourself in the best ways possible. Don't go in there with a specific narrow view. My insight and research the culture and learn about different races, culture if you're going to write about it. I agree. I think you can have white writers write black characters, but it needs to be respectful. Maybe run by a couple. I think that's reasonable. That's how I view it personally. That's why editors should look over the stories before they publish. That yes. Apparently, they allegedly did. These companies swear they're working on their D&I hiring practices. It's time to fucking own up to it. There have been movies where the director intentionally brought a new writer aboard as an extra pair of eyes. It was similar experience to the character the movie's focused on, because the writer or director might not have that experience. Exactly. That's true. Brian McGuinness did a fucking great job writing Luke Cage. You're right about that, Xavier. He wrote some of the best Luke Cage comics. Let's see here. If it is Brooklyn, why the hell are they still using the old Norse terms for things? And Miles even says bruv. Well, that's the thing. I forgot to bring this up. He says bruv, which is English slang, but like in Brooklyn, we would say son or bra. So yeah, bruv, I thought was like, not even attributed to like English people who are black. But I thought that's just, when they say bruv, I thought that's just like an English like slang term. Again, I don't know. That's what I thought. It's like, bruv, it's like, isn't that from England? I thought that's like English, just general slang, but like in the UK. Ike Perlmutter, known racist, he is still the chairman of the Marvel Entertainment, so that explains how this was greenlit for publishing. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Ike Perlmutter is a racist. Controversy creates cash. It's Chris. I know the blacks. I know some of the black men. I want to hear some of their opinions, chat. What's the black men opinion on this? Firewolf, good to see you, Firewolf. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Always a pleasure to have you here. This book probably go up in price. Marvel repulses. Yeah, no, I bet people are. I bet this is selling extraordinarily well. Chris, everything that's read your comment just a second. Isaac, saw someone else mention this on Twitter, but the best adaptation of a white character to being a black character was Isaac from Castlevania. Howling at Thor being Miles is going to be talked about for a long time for all the wrong reasons, while a lot of people still don't know Isaac was from actual Castlevania games. There you go. That's true. I think the only positive thing I can say about the comic is that at least the artist is kind of good. I'm grabbing Strauss's point. I mean, they did draw those shoes, though. Oh, it's not smart satire like the book. No, it's not. It's not even like it's not satire. I think it's supposed to be taken like it's literal. It's so fucking literal. That's the thing. That's the thing that makes it even worse. Like I'm like at this point, it's like, oh, this is satire. I mean, like, oh my god. I mean, that's what's like, wow, you're really pushing the envelope there. But it's like, no, it's supposed to be taken seriously. Adji McKay, yes, indeed, Newsy Ducky. Sad thing is that Miles is fantastic. He is, at his core. I mean, anyone who's seen the Spider-Verse, played the PS4 games, obviously loves Miles. Absolutely. There's been great adaptations of Miles Morales over the years, and there'll probably continue in the chat even after this, there will still be great adaptations of Miles Morales in the future. Cultural consultants should be a thing. I agree. Absolutely. That's a great way to put it. Alexandria the Greatest. You could have done focus groups or have gone a Reddit group to get some inspiration at the very least. There's a Reddit group for everything. Not sure why when there is a black character, they always have to be black first. Just make them like anyone. Yes. Just make them. How about you focus on the things that define them as a person? Their personality. Think of their personality first. That's what I think. I feel like that is one of the most important things when it comes to writing. Don't focus on what, the what they look on the outside. Like, no, let's see, like, what makes them who they are as a character, as their personality. What defines them? Not the perceived things that you think defines them. No, who are they as a person? Agreed. Tony, if people want to be inclusive, just focus on presenting minorities on not presenting minorities as negative stereotypes. Isaac, sadly, if you're familiar with the hip-hop music from the 90s to early 2000s, this comic contains even more cringe since Miles is really... I know, I got that. Listen, I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to music, chat, but I picked up on, like Hammer Time is, MC Hammer. It isn't... at one point in the book, he says, All Eyes on Me, which is the name of an album. Isn't that Tupac's? Isn't All Eyes on Me? Is that Tupac's, one of Tupac's albums? I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong, chat. Again, I don't know nothing about music. That's Tupac, yeah. So yeah, Miles is talking as everything he says is a name of a song or an album cover. I want Morgan Freeman's Hummerman. That'd be kind of cool. They say governor in Brooklyn. Get it right. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Paul's idiot, bruv. I feel like some words are fine, but when you make the whole thing like you read it, it's horrible. It is horrible. I attribute to British kids in general because all the kids in Attack on the Block were saying. That's what I said. Everyone was saying. Yeah, I think it's not like just it's not just associated with English people who are also black. I think it's just that's just British slang in general, used across the board. That's what I always figured. Quickly buy this comic, get a CGC grade. Yeah, people are gonna buy it. It's gonna be infamous. Shit. It's gonna be an infamous book. Summer Baby, your parents are watching Stranger Things Season 1. Nice. Are they enjoying it, Summer Baby? Glad they're watching some good genre TV. That's great to hear. That's really good to hear. Just reading, just going over people's comments right now before we continue on the rest of the stream. Castlevania's great. Anyway, Thor: Love and Thunder, Spider-Man Crush Spider-Verse coming soon. That's true, they are. Oh, I know it's not the marketing they wanted. Did Black Thor say jive turkey at least? Did he say jive ass turkey, chat? I didn't see that. I didn't see that one panel. He might have, chat. For all I know. That could have happened. Chat, just checking something really quick. I'm going to continue to read all your questions right here. Thank you for your patience, by the way. I hope you're enjoying the stream. I think it's a good conversation, chat. We're having some very nice discussions about this. It's Tupac? Okay, so it is Tupac. I have seen Peaky Blinders. A few episodes, not all of it. I did like it. I got to look at you studying your black music. I know things. But I wouldn't assume. If I was writing a black character, I probably wouldn't put that in there. How the fuck did you know? I know stuff. I know some things. Wow, thank you. I just got that sound in my head. I'm sorry. Listen to Tupac, Chris? I think, no, what it was, they had that Tupac Shakur movie from a few years ago, and wasn't it called All Eyes on Me? And I was like, why is it called that? And I looked it up, I was like, it's because it was named after one of his albums. That's why it was a movie thing, chat. Not because I listened to music, because it was a movie. I didn't see the movie, though. I just I was curious, like, why are they calling it that? I don't understand. But I educated myself. Powering the blood in Miles' veins of the comics is juice. Oh, man. Oh, Jesus. Thank you. I know who Tupac is. All this feels like a Boondocks episode about capitalism. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You know, on a very small level, I do appreciate the old, vague, black internet culture reference with the whole, is Asgard flat thing or round thing, like a B.O.B. and Kyrie, Kyrie? Irving started a whole conversation within the culture about the Earth 8 years ago. Oh, I'm unfamiliar. So after this, still excited to see where the rest of this Miles verse goes. Nah, I mean, to be honest, I was never really, I don't know. I just like, not really, personally. I've been so out of the comic game for so long that I eventually, that's why I kind of want to do a show, because I want to get back into it and read some stuff, like some collected volumes. I don't know, like What If is fine. There's some fun What If stories, but it's not the forefront of my mind. It's not the thing that gets me interested. You know, I did like the Marvel What If show. I thought that was, you know, again, it was some episodes. I guess that's the thing, because I never know what the quality is going to be. And so, like, you get some episodes or some comics like, wow, these are really good, and some other ones are like, ugh. So it kind of like this one, ugh. You never know. It's a crapshoot. Yeah, they like it? Nice. Nice. Excuse me, sir, do you have the racist What If book and stuff? Okay, someone's got to do that. Someone's got to record themselves doing that. This is a nice, girthy conversation. That movie sucks. This new edition. I didn't see the movie. I didn't know. I just knew of it. I knew of the movie. Dang, Norman, you won Jive as Turkey. Better go back to my hood, Asgard, and do too. Oh, Lord. The way Barrett talked in the old Final Fantasy VII never sat well with me, and GTA's liberal use of the N-word, while written by a bunch of white guys, never sat. Oh, man, it's funny you say the way Barrett talked in the old. How he still talks. How he still talks in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Whatever. Like, he literally, I'm sorry, but he's a stereotype. Like, I like Final Fantasy VII Remake. I like the original Final Fantasy VII. But, yo, he is still a walking, talking stereotype. Cloud! We're avalanche, baby! I mean, he's literally screaming and doing that throughout the entire game. Where's my baby? I was like, oh, God. Yeah, Chad. And that's not me making fun of the, a racist accent. That's me literally just doing an impression of Barrett in Final Fantasy VII Remake. That is what he sounds like. I mean, the same thing with Coltrane from, Gears. Woo, baby, the Coltrane is here. I'm like, oh, God. Oh, Tupac Shakur. Is that what I say? Tupac? What am I saying? Tupac. I got him. Tupac Shakur. I don't know, Chris. You know the lax more than us. Andrew McKay. They really said Asgard is his hood. Yes, they did. Well, I'll throw the whole comic away and try again. Looking forward to that show about Tupac's mom, though. Here's making it was. Yes, the movie looks cheap. Yeah, Chad, I'm reading your comments as fast as I can. I'm sorry if I'm missing anything. And Star Watch Beagle is nice. You're probably farther ahead than I am. I'm telling you, check out Radiant Black. Okay, I'll write it down. I'll add it to, I keep a Word document up here, so. Nice. Added. Well, I'm getting flashbacks of the Secret Diary of Desmond Pfeiffer. Never read that. Never saw that. I never really been into what if setups in any story medium, since they often go for what would be cool or fan servicing instead of what has the most story or thematic potential. Agreed. Like I like the Doctor Strange what if. What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? I thought that was fucking great. Yeah, but yeah, they do. Yeah, it's a good point. They do tend to be like really fan servicey. Kevin Hart's Peaky Blinders great. Just was not a fan of that last season on Netflix though. He acts like Mr. T. I mean, that's what Barrett is. Now, Chris Tucker sounds. That's what he sounds like. I'm doing an impression of him. Oh, no, I never heard Barrett in the new file. Oh, my friend. You need to hear the way he sounds in that game. That is agreed. Robert Downey Jr. is probably the last person to get away with it. No one else will ever get away with it, at least in the culture that we currently exist in now. He was the last. Everyone went, okay. Everyone was okay with it. Everyone, which was shocking. which was shocking. It's funny, that movie had more controversy surrounding the fact that they used the word retard. That's where they got in a lot of hot water. But Robert, I said the name. I know I said it weird. I'm talking fast. Robert Downey. I words are hard now. Where's my super suit? I mean, yeah, they even do Incredibles. Also accepted by Odin's Tims, by Odin's Rhythm, and by Odin's Melanin. Odin did not have a fucking faith. That's what's so funny about that. So, in the actual comic book, in the issue chat, like we see Odin, Miles' father, which is, I guess it's Jefferson Davis, correct? It's Jefferson Davis. That's his dad's name. Correct me if I'm wrong. But in the comic book, he's bald. And I'm like, I don't think this person knows what a fade is. It doesn't make any sense. That's what's weird. Oh, God. Oh, and by the way, they are all wearing Tims. They are wearing Tims, chat. I'm like, oh, my God. I couldn't believe it. Chris, what? I have seen Straight Outta Compton. I like Straight Outta Compton. That's a good movie. My own fan. That's going to be a lot of people's motto. So much do you want to bet they adapt the story to a future episode? Whoa. I don't think so. Say, Jim, that's a bad outfit. Woo! This is going to be talked about in a few weeks when Thor 11. Yep. Oh, 100%. This is the worst possible. This is the worst timing. Yep. People are going to bring this up. This is going to be the time. I'm kind of there for the memes, though. In a few weeks when Thor Love and Thunder comes out, will probably be brought up when Across the Spider-Verse comes out. Yep. And then again, when What If Season 2 airs. Yep. Agreed. I'm constantly about on the DC side more than Marvel for a while. I've always been more of a DC guy. I mean, there are exceptions, of course. When it comes to a lot of Marvel books, I've read a lot of Captain America and Daredevil and Spider-Man and some Avengers stuff. Fantastic. And I have a shit ton of Fantastic Four. I fucking love Fantastic Four and X-Men. But outside of that, I've always been more gravitated towards DC comics specifically. I have more knowledge in that regard. You said Tupac Shakur. I don't know. Serious Spot, great salutation. Will be living long and prospering. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Sure, no, but there's a difference between stereotype and just straight up racism. Like, I'll admit Barrett isn't perfect, but he's not just like straight up not okay, basically. No, exactly. I mean, listen. Barrett and Coltrane, they're a little stereotypical, but it's not so egregious. Like, there's more to them. I agree. It's not like this. They got a little bit in them, though. I get what you're saying. No, pleasure to have you here, CDR Spock. Great salutations. Yeah, that's the thing. The Marvels, it kind of was a little again, some episodes are fan servicey and other ones I think are really good. Like that Doctor Strange ones are really fun. Baby Barrett. Robert Downey, Chris. Robert Downey's my favorite actor. I love Robert Downey Jr. Oh, God. We're okay with it because there's an actual damn point to it. Tropic Thunder I love Tropic Thunder. Hey, you can't do okay, you get it. Yeah. Well, the thing about the Robert Downey thing, the Robert Downey Jr. thing is what works about it. What I think worked about it is that he's literally a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude, chat. Like, he's an idiot. He plays an idiot who thinks it's okay to dye his skin and play a black character in blackface. Like, that's the whole point of the joke. That's what makes it funny. I feel like that's what a lot of people then went, oh, a lot of people got that and went, okay. I don't know if you can do that again, though. I don't know if you can do that again. I'm not sure. I don't think so. They could try, but I don't know. I wouldn't. I would be a little scared. Barrett's voice file is the black dude in old superhero movies that always said things like, that is a bad outfit. Woo, he is that. He is very much that. So maybe I recommend something is Killing the Children graphic novel as well as The Last Ronin and Berserker Keanu Reeves. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm gonna add these right now, sir. Maybe thank you for the recommendation because I want to get back in the comic shed. This is kind of like a little test. This is a little test where we have a conversation about a comic book controversy that I think is fun. So thank you, sir, baby. Add it to the Word doc. They got away with it because they explained in the movie why he was doing. Yeah, exactly. Tropic Thunder is really good. Yeah, it's mocking that kind of thing. Yep. Great, what'd I do? And Gears, that was actually Lester Spide's energy, former All-Make. Yeah, that's right. He was hyped to be in Gears one day. I know. Oh, I know. I love him. I think he's great. He's wearing Tims. Yes, he is wearing Tims. I love that line. Mm-hmm. Oh, and they got Miles and Jordans. He's wearing, what's it called? Thordans? I think they called them Thordans. And oh no, great clip for sure. Oh no. Oh no. I had a friend cosplay Spider-Man Timberlands. That's kind of funny. Freya's black in the issue, but his mom is supposed to be Puerto Rican. Yehudi. Oh wow. Holy fucking shit. Okay, so that's the thing. I want to bring this up, M. Xavier. Let me continue scrolling down. Let's put a pin in that for right now because I want to bring something up in regards to Miles. But I want to get back to that. I want to see Chris play as Black Panther now. Maybe. He's already thought there was a point. Had enough sense to have someone call him out. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think it worked. Gonna give some Vashon vibes. Yes, I love the Fantastic Four comic. Me too. That and Spider-Man were the big Marvel comics I read when I was younger. I read a lot of DC too. Yeah, Robert Downey. # Robert Downey chat. Robert Downey Soft Junior's on Black. I know. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you can't do Sacha Baron anymore. Well, maybe, I don't know. Even Daniel Day-Lewis, who's a chameleon, even he wouldn't do it. Agreed. New edition. We live in a day and age where morons on Twitter want to remove the context from everything, go after. Yes, sure. Yeah. I feel like people still got context during that movie. They got it. I don't think you can do that again because people wouldn't look at the context. Exactly. Yeah, he's not doing blackface per se. He's playing a guy doing blackface. Exactly. When they term racist, I think of people who dislike or look down on other races, those who show misunderstanding or intentionally offended. I call ignorant or insensitive. No, I did die. Excuse me. Yes, as you want a good current Marvel comic, you should check out Moon Knight by Jed McKay. It's 19 issues in. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the Word doc. Thank you. Thank you for your recommendation. Thor. I think they're called Thordans. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're called Thordans, chat. I just read mostly X-Men and then got into some of the indie comics like Poison Elves before falling down the manga rabbit hole. Indeed. Look at the boss, by the way. Why is Thor the only one acting like that in the issue? Thor and Odin are not. Like Thor and Odin are not acting like racist, but Thor gives us no fucks. Oh, you mean Frigga? You mean Frigga and Odin? You meant Frigga and Odin? Yes. So I want to bring up something that M. Xavier said because I think it's often forgotten by some people that Miles Morales is half Puerto Rican. And I feel like it's showcased. It's especially showcased in the Spider-Man video games we've gotten over the last several years. Especially when you're at one of the things I liked about I would encourage people if you're not of the race of Miles Morales to look at how that video game handled presenting his culture and home life and community and neighborhood. I thought they handled it really well. It felt natural. It felt right. It didn't feel like it was so in your face or be like, hey, we're diverse, TM. It didn't feel like that. It just, and yeah, she always speaks Spanish. It just felt like this is how it is. And I like that. It felt natural. It felt like any normal family whoever their son also has spider powers. And I also think we saw that in the movie as well from his mother mostly. But yeah, I guess that's the thing, because I think sometimes people just forget. They always refer to Miles. He's what so often happens. He's like, oh yeah, he's the Black Spider-Man, but he's also half Puerto Rican. And so yeah, you bring up a fucking excellent point though, M. Xavier, is that they just made his mother black. She's Puerto Rican. That's a good point. That is an excellent point. Yeah, when it comes down to it, chat, it's not a lot of research was done. Clearly. It is presented, the author's presentation of black culture is very truncated and very narrow and very stereotypical. And also at the end of the day, it's just really, really poorly written. It's just really shitty writing. Even before you get down to the stereotypes, it's just not good. It's just not good. It's just egregious. I mean, that's what it is. Yatsuba fan, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're having a very nice evening. Just talking about this controversy with Miles Morales' Thor. Glee, thank you for 100 biddies. Quite the crowd tonight. EG, thank you. Glee, thank you. Thank you for the 100 biddies, too. Yeah, we got a lot of people here, which I do appreciate. Well, I want to talk about this. I want to get different people's perspectives on this whole topic, and it's kind of like a little test for my own comic show where I want to talk about a comic, either doing a review for it or scene by scene, or just like comic book controversy or run or a particular character. I feel like this was fun. I feel like this was fun. I mean, I hope you guys like this. I know, right, for Juneteenth. Oh God. Oh no. That's yeah. I mean, this is not the end of it. I don't know if any statements have been put out by have there been any additional statements put out by Marvel or Yehudi since then? That's right. Yeah, you can be black and Latino after. That's what they call it, Afro Latino. That's right. That's what it's referred to as. This was a great coverage. I thought it was great. Could imagine what would have happened with Spider-Punk. He's African American. Oh, that's right. Spider-Punk. They call him Spider-Punk. Oh, the comic people are bugging about what? Are they bugging? Are you bugging? And any Spanish speaking home, your mom's gonna talk in that Spanish. Your dad's gonna laugh about joke Spanish with his friend's family. And grandma will always call you mijo or mija. And they remember your name. That's true. I've seen that firsthand. That's adorable. But yeah, chat. Yeah, it's my perspective, my opinion on this whole Miles Morales Thor controversy. It's bad. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is bad. I'm curious to see how this is going to evolve, how this is going to play out. It will be brought up again when the Thor movie comes out, when the Miles Morales movie comes out, the What If return. All this shit will come back. All of this shit will come back, chat. So I'm very curious to see what's eventually going to happen in the future. Let me see if has Marvel put out any other statements in regards to this or no. Because I haven't, since I started streaming, I did not hear anything. Can't wait for this Miles experience to be over so he can go back to eventually being, Spider. I would like, what? Isaac, I'm kind of right there with you. I just want to see more Miles Morales' Spider-Man comics. How about that? Or adaptations. Which, hey, despite this happening, despite this coming out, there is a lot of great Miles Morales content out there. I can't speak for the comics right now. The comics themselves, I just don't know. But hey, the movies? We're getting 2 movies, chat. They're going to continue that on. That's exciting. He's obviously going to be featured in Spider-Man 2 again. Probably going to go back and forth between Peter and Miles in that game. I think that'll be really fun. And eventually, chat, I mean, it's going to happen. We are going to get a live-action Miles Morales movie, too. I would love to have him and Tom Holland interact with each other. I think that'd be so much fun. So we're going to get that. We're going to keep getting that. So despite this happening, and it's certainly a stain on the Miles Morales character's history. There's more good than bad. I think that we can all say there's definitely more good Miles Morales content than bad Miles Morales content.